Welcome to the kitchen at Coffee and Friends Cafe. I'm Becky. I'm going to show you how to make our bagels. This is one of our signature items here, and we've got about 6 different kinds that rotate out. I'm going to show you how to make our basic plain one that you can turn into any of our other kinds. So we've got a thing of double sifted high gluten flour. There is 16 cups in here. We've got 4 tablespoons of yeast. This is going to be our reactor. Then we've got 2 tablespoons of salt and 6 tablespoons of sugar. And of course we have canola oil because we want to make sure that our bagels are always vegan friendly. We try to have a little bit of everything for everybody. And then of course water, which is the basic ingredient you're going to need. So we're going to take all of these, we're going to add in our dry ingredients first, and we're going to let all these dry ingredients mix together so that once the chemical reaction happens, everything's already mixed together. So now that that's fully mixed in, we're going to add in our oil, and we're going to give that a minute to mix in. So now that that's mixed in, we're just going to add in our water. The trick is to not add in water, all the water right away. You're going to want to give it a chance to mix in and make sure you need more. Your water is going to fluctuate depending on all the ingredients you're adding in, so you never want to go with just a flat amount of water. Know how it's actually turning into a ball in between and it's not sticking anymore. We know that we have enough water in here, so we're just going to give it a chance to mix in really well before we leave it to rise. We've just let our dough rise for 20 minutes and we pulled it out of the pan, and now it's a material we can work with. We're going to weigh these out to 4.5 ounces, which I can pretty much tell you, but you can use any digital scale, which is what Autumn's going to show you right now. You can add a little, subtract a little. Apparently I'm way off, or our scale isn't even. Okay, there we go. And then all you're going to do is you're going to start off with your dough, pulling it, and what you're doing is you're slowly folding it into itself. This is what's called making a skin. This is probably, the second most important part of making a bagel. Boiling is going to be the first part because after that you just have bread if you miss that part. So once we have a nice little round little bun, we're just going to poke a hole right in the center, pull it out, and then we have a bagel. After you're finished forming your bagels, they're going to continue to rise until you allow them to be cooked. So the next step is going to be to simply put them in boiling water. You want a nice rolling boil, and then as you form them, I'm making sure the holes are a little bit larger because as they rise, the hole will start to disappear, and then they'll look like little buns instead of little bagels. So you want to let them go for 2 minutes aside. This is just allowing them to fully cook. Obviously the side that's not in the water is not going to cook, so that's why we got to flip them over after 2 minutes. Yep, I'm going to take them out, and I'm going to I'm using a nice wide grate so that I can get all the excess water off, and I'm going to put them onto a sheet so that they can finish getting the water off. Too much water on them and you'll end up with saggy holes in the middle of your bagels, as bad as that sounds. So we're just going to lift those off. Once they're through cooling on the cooling rack, we're going to put them in the oven. We're going to bake them at 300 degrees for 20 minutes. At that point in time, we're going to flip them over and bake them for another 5. This will make sure that the center is all dried out and you have fresh bagels. We've just pulled our bagels out of the oven, and you can tell the difference between our bagels and somebody else's by the fact that they were boiled on the outside before they were baked, so they get that wonderful crunch, which makes a great way to start your morning. Thanks for joining us at Coffee and Friends Cafe. I'm Becky. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter. Because they were baked on the outside before they were boiled on the inside. No, strike that and reverse it.
All right, take 3.